Thank you for giving me this tremendous privilege to join with you today in our 2022 Leadership Summit for the General Council of Pastors and Elders of the Church of God in Christ. Allow me to pay homage and to give deference to our celebrated chairman, Administrative Assistant Michael Eady. Thank you for your valiant leadership and your tremendous insight and vision in gathering us together for this year's summit. Deference and respect to each of the appointed vice chairmen who serve alongside Chairman Eady, to our elected secretary, Superintendent Prince E.W. Bryant II, and to our elected chairman, Superintendent William Ward. We laud and applaud your tremendous ardor and contribution to the forward movement and success of the General Council of Pastors and Elders. I'm Elder Nicholas South, and I, along with Elder Kelsey Fitzpatrick of Baltimore, Maryland, were selected and appointed by our former chairman, Dr. Matthew L. Brown, now prelate of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, second jurisdiction, for the National Service Team of the General Council of Pastors and Elders. Let's have a collaborative conversation on today. In conjunction with the existing framework of the General Council of Pastors and Elders, and additional constructs for innovation and development have been explored to increase participation, provide new opportunities for partnership, while strengthening the core of the council. The National Service Team, which is responsible for infrastructure and logistics, is part of a group of individuals and network who have worked collaboratively across the spectrum of our national church, bringing together some of the brightest, most spiritually intellectual individuals to fulfill the following 7 tasks. 1, to develop a consistent and concrete engagement and recruitment repository to provide adequate staffing for the various committees of the General Council of Pastors and Elders. To develop clear criteria for job postings, along with an appealing yet aggressive application, review, and selection process. To provide a relational yet rigorous orientation for all persons selected to serve on committees within the General Council of Pastors and Elders. To review and revise, where applicable and appropriate, the rules, responsibilities, and various functions of committees within the General Council of Pastors and Elders, germane specifically to our officers and committee members. We were asked to develop and construct rubrics, metric processes and systems, and evaluative instruments to measure the efficacy of committees and their contribution on an annual basis to the GCPE. We were also asked, with the assistance of the Secretary of our Council, to develop a complete and comprehensive list of existing committee chairmen, vice chairmen, and members to reflectively determine how we will fill existing and future vacancies. And lastly, we were asked to review and revive the regional chairmen as functional, operating extensions of the General Council of Pastors and Elders in their respective areas, and to develop parallel planning and execution templates for regional conferences and retreats. In order to chart a course for our success, I, along with Elder Kelsey Fitzpatrick, were given the awesome opportunity to seek out additional individuals to join the National Service Team to work as facilitators as we carved out the work across the nation, and then to look at how do we put it in place to build upon. Allow me to introduce to you the names of these individuals, and then to share the areas of leadership that they facilitated. The Elder Desmond Hunt and the Pastor Cale Mann, who were facilitators of our committee-specific job descriptions, roles, and responsibilities. Each General Council of Pastor and Elders committee has a specific role within their functional responsibilities, and they have been reviewed, refined, and restated to delineate their primary operational focus. Additionally, these individuals and these tremendous gentlemen were responsible for creating a standard number of which each committee would be staffed with, and a recommendation for that number was shared from this subcommittee to our chairman. This was done to ensure that each GCPE committee had a workable number of individuals from which we can draw ideas and would be a consistent repository of insight and information. And we want to engage as many quality individuals as possible. Pastor Cale Mann has organized a recruitment and retention plan to staff committees with fidelity. In addition, they developed a standardized notification document that has been constructed to invite existing committee chairmen and members to share their body of work and to express their interest in continuing to serve in their present positions, while also providing new individuals and gentlemen an opportunity to apply and to offer themselves in service. A comprehensive and concise committee application, dissemination, completion, review, and notification process has been crafted for review, approval, and communication by our chairman. And lastly, these two fine gentlemen make sure that they constructed committee meeting guidelines. The frequency, monitoring, and reporting document has been constructed so that each General Council of Pastor and Elders Committee has a synchronized way of sharing information that has been garnered and gained through their various meetings. Next, allow me to share that Superintendent Brandon C. Pierce was selected and chosen to be the facilitator of the Performance Evaluation Standards and Metric Development. Superintendent Brandon Pierce, along with other members of our committee, were responsible for developing an evaluative rubric that has been constructed to biannually collaborate with each committee chairman to reflectively discuss their committee's work and their contribution to the success of the GCPE. That which can be measured can be managed. And so we want to make sure that the work of each committee is evaluated twice a year to make sure that we are doing our very best. In addition, the rubric evaluation tool will be used to assist committees to form additional subcommittees with specific measurable objectives that directly align with their roles and responsibilities. That rubric is a tremendous tool that's going to help us take the personality out and follow the process. Allow me to share with you that one of the finest gentlemen in the Church of God in Christ, who hails from the Washington, D.C. area, was also invited to join this tremendous national service team. That young man is the Elder Robert K. Clark Jr., Esquire, and he was the facilitator of the committee application, review, and selection process. Elder Clark, in collaboration with additional members from our team, was responsible for developing a checklist of committee applicant prerequisites and preparation questions that has been adequately developed. He, along with his subcommittee members, determined and constructed a clearly defined number of days, along with the specific dates for application submission that has been established to centralize and streamline the process for committee applications. He has come up with a succinct application review, response, and selection process that has been fully developed, vetted, and approved by our General Council of Pastors and Elders Chairman. And lastly, the committee appointment and notification protocol has been established so that gentlemen across the country will know who is serving on each committee, how they were appointed, and when they were given their commission. This is exciting information. Allow me, please, to continue with introducing our national service team by sharing that prior to his appointment as the celebrated prelate of the Ontario Ecclesiastical Jurisdiction, the Bishop Charles J. Johnson III was chosen as facilitator of the Regional GCPE Chairman's Conference and Retreat Infrastructure Framework. Bishop Johnson, who was one of the brightest minds of our church, was responsible for the regional chairman's roster being compiled, and he's still working with our secretary to ensure that each individual who has been selected to serve as a regional chairman is duly identified and notified of these great opportunities that will be coming their way. He recommended a regional configuration that has been constructed, based on the geographic alignment, along with a balanced number of jurisdictions that aligns both with the Board of Bishops and with the General Secretary's office for its configuration. The regional chairman's preliminary criterion checklist has been developed by Bishop Johnson, along with the selection and appointment process, which is still under review, and we're receiving recommendations for reconstruction from the Executive Committee of the General Council. And then lastly, Bishop Johnson took a look at developing a model template for regional conferences and retreats that address frequency, function, funding, and their focus to ensure that each regional conference has synergy and is aligned with the focus and goals of the General Council of Pastors and Elders. Very quickly, let me share with you as I move forward that there is a letter of invitation to interview, and that template has been developed. And so jurisdictional chairman, along with the executive committee members, will be targeting specific individuals that we know bring a wealth and breadth of information to the General Council of Pastors and Elders. And you'll be asked specifically to serve within the council on various committees and in various ways. That letter will be addressed specifically to you, and it will outline the specific information that you will be asked to remit, to share, along with resumes and other historical facts and data that will give us a more robust picture of your background and what you may bring to the table. We're excited about growing our team. Allow me to share with you information as it relates to our committee application checklist and review template. The committee membership criterion must be a licensed minister, ordained elder, or pastor of the Church of God in Christ Incorporated. The submission of a written or electronic application and a completed interview must take place. Interviews will be conducted by individuals appointed by our General Council of Pastors and Elders chairman, along with gentlemen who currently serve in the executive committee and or on our national service team. The application process: submit a written and or electronic application, submit a letter of recommendation from your pastor or jurisdictional prelate if you are a pastor, and during the interview, the applicant must demonstrate the following: a working knowledge of the purpose and mission of the General Council of Pastors and Elders, exhibit the ability to comprehend, communicate, and critically evaluate growth along with the training and developmental impact of the GCPE committee for which you are applying. You must demonstrate an ability to articulate the major role and responsibilities of the desired committee for which you are applying. You must have an ability to adequately express specific skills, qualities, and resources you bring to the table, both professionally, civically, ecumenically, and from your experience. Allow me to share with you the committees for which we will be staffing through the General Council of Pastors and Elders, and that the National Service Team will be assisting with: the Ethics Committee, the Constitution Committee, the Judicial Review Committee, the Finance Committee, the Rules Committee, the Nominations and Elections Committee, the Resolutions Committee, the Ways and Means Committee, and lastly, the Membership Committee. Already, the application and the information that's been shared with you on today is available in PDF form and will be launched once the final release is given from our General Council of Pastors and Elders chairman. And that application is easy to use. It's a fillable PDF, and it's going to make it very seamless for every individual who's interested in joining the GCPE to do so. All of the constructs that I just reviewed are available on that PDF, and that information will be shared electronically. It will be able to be received from your jurisdictional chairman, and of course, you can always contact the General Council of Pastors and Elders. Let me share with you additional information about our GCPE Regional Chairman Framework Template, again, which was constructed and comprised by Bishop Charles J. Johnson III. The GCPE Regional Chairman will function primarily to do the following: support the jurisdictional councils of pastors and elders in their respective regions, support and supervise the consistent delivery of training facilitating the GCPE Institute framework and curriculum, as well as reviewing, introducing, and immersing each jurisdictional council in the GCPE handbook, our mediation handbook, and other relevant resources that are tools to building an effective jurisdictional council. Additionally, recommended criteria has been expressed and developed for the regional GCPE chairman, such as currently serving or having prior experience serving as a jurisdictional council of pastors and elders chairman, must have completed or are willing to complete the regional chairman certification courses via the GCPE Institute, and the GCPE regional chairman application, which has been constructed, must be effectively and successfully completed and submitted. You will also be responsible, if selected and appointed as a regional General Council of Pastors and Elders Chairman, to facilitate the regional conference retreats. You will be responsible for their frequency, and we recommend that they would be held biannually in each region. You will also be responsible for collaborating with our chairman to develop their focus, and it's recommended that all conferences will focus on specific training and development as it relates to the constitutional role and function of each jurisdictional council of pastors and elders, understanding that we are a lower court in the actual General Assembly. You'll be responsible for their function by emphasizing the rules of each jurisdictional council of pastors and elders as you function as an appellate court, empowering pastors and elders with constitutional knowledge germane to their rights, as well as other tools necessary to build successful and effective ministries that align to best practices. And lastly, each regional chairman, who is an individual of insight and innovation, will be responsible for seeking out effective ways to fund your regional conference. A reasonably affordable registration would be collected to underwrite and fund each regional conference. And a template for fiscal planning will be constructed and shared with all jurisdictional councils of pastors and elders chairmen. Lastly, in this segment of our conversation, let me share with you that our national service team have worked collaboratively with the General Secretary's office, along with the Board of Bishops, to ensure that regions are constructed to be geographically sensitive and to allow each jurisdictional chairman, each regional chairman, to have supervision over a reasonable amount of jurisdictions so that they can provide support in a real-time way. I am so excited about the work of our national service team to staff the committees of the General Council of Pastors and Elders, to provide the framework by which those committees will function, to provide evaluative processes that will measure the efficacy of each committee, and then finally to assess how we can continue with continuous management and improvement. I hope that you're as excited as I am and that you're prepared to share your questions, your concerns, and or your recommendations and suggestions. The General Council of Pastors and Elders stands upon the precipice of change, and we're excited to be a part of it. Thank you for this space and opportunity to share. And as always, we're prepared to answer your questions and to give you additional insight and information. Won't you join the General Council of Pastors and Elders as we inspire, as we inform, and as we empower the greatest church on the face of the earth, the beloved Church of God in Christ. I'm Elder Nicholas South, and it's been my privilege and pleasure to share with you on today. God bless you.